Good morning, folks, and Merry Christmas to you. Yeah, it is Merry Christmas. It's a Christian holiday. It gets to be Merry Christmas. This morning, it's about 5 o'clock in the morning here, and I'm not caffeinated yet, but this morning we're going to be making cake balls. Now, here's the first step to making cake balls. Bake a cake. Carrot cake, cinnamon cake, spice cake, chocolate cake, vanilla cake, red velvet, don't matter. This morning I am using lemon, so we're having a lemon cake balls. Now you go ahead and make it just like you do, just like the box says, just like the recipe, but I will let you in a little secret. In order to make your cakes taste extra special, extra homemade-ish, replace the water with milk, replace the oil with butter. Do that right there, and it's guaranteed every single cake you make is going to taste like it's freshly homemade. So go ahead and get your cake together and follow the directions and everything else. Another little trick is while you're baking it, you don't have to follow the directions, or you don't have to follow the time on how long to cook it. Get a toothpick. If it's wet on top, leave it to bake. If it's dry on top, stick a toothpick in it. If a toothpick doesn't come out with batter on it, congratulations, you're done. We'll see in a little bit once we get the cake and the coffee taken care of. And we're back. The next step, we have a beautiful, warm, toasty lemon cake. Followed the directions, did the freaking toothpick test, and the next thing we're going to do. Well, the next thing we're going to do is adjust this thing so it's working. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to have to slice the cake. Now, when you slice the cake, you got to make sure that every single one of your cuts is exactly the same distance around and the same in every aspect. Oh, hell, I done screwed that up already, haven't I? Oh, well, I ain't going to have it anyhow. Pull it out and load it into a bowl. See, the original cake balls were used to help get rid of old cake. That's why it has a consistency that's different than regular cake, and they would sell that the day after the cake was considered not sellable. That was in a way to reduce waste and make money through the delis and the cake makers. Alright, so we went ahead and we've gotten all of our cake out of our dish here. Ta-da! And we've dumped it into a great big bowl. What are we going to do next, Bert? The next thing we're going to do is take our frosting. And you're going to have to measure out exactly a half a cup of, nah, I'm just BS and empty this bad boy in here. Alright, she's empty. Now, mash it all together. You're going to want this to look like goo when you're finished. It's going to need to be all mushed up. And you can use pretty much any frosting that you would put on this cake if it were a solid cake. But it ain't a solid cake no more. It's more mush than it is cake at this point. Now, once we get this all completely mushed up, you're not going to be able to do anything with it until it cools down, so we're going to put it in the fridge for probably half an hour or so. Try and get it to cool down on us, because then we can lump it together and form our cute little balls. So this is what we got so far. And it's just basically mushed up cake. That's why cake balls were sold the way they were. It was because you could take all the leftover cake, mush it up, add some extra frosting to that shape, and away you go. So I'm gonna finish this mess up. Y'all go find something to do for a second, and I'm gonna go ahead and pop this in the fridge for about a half an hour to 45 minutes, just long enough to scan my Facebook and stir up trouble. And then we'll come back and we'll finish this bad boy up. Back in a second. And we're back again. Now, I've left this stuff mush up for about half an hour, 40-some minutes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this goo and turn it into cake balls. So now I got my tray set out here with my wax paper on it. I got my pile of goo, and we get to working. Now, you grab you about enough. You're making them into little tiny balls, about yay big. You know, you don't want a whole big amount, but you want them just about mouth size. And much better when you can just pick them up, pop the whole bad boy in your mouth. And you just spin it. You're just trying to make a little ball out of it, that's all. And go ahead and ball these bad boys up. Whatever size. I mean, if you want small ones, but you're just going to be making a lot more dipping. Go ahead and make them up. And then once you're done, or once I'm done, we're going to go ahead and dip them in the chocolate. So we'll be right back. I'm not here to bore you with me doing this the whole time. So I will come back when we go to the next step. Laters. And we're back. As you can see, our wonderful little cake balls have all been made up, and they've been refrigerated to cool them back down. This little contraption right here is a double boiler. See, I was always scared to death of these things, and I never wanted to spend money to buy a real double boiler. But then I found out all you need is a big pan and a little pan and water. See what you have, the concept here is water is going to heat up and start boiling. It's going to heat this pan up, which is going to melt your almond bark. By the way, almond bark, best stuff to use when making cake balls. Don't worry about the wax or paraffin or any of that other junk. Melt in a double boiler, dip and done. Remember, easy is always best. So, of course, you can see we're not boiling here yet. So we're going to let this boil, and then we're going to get it up to temperature. And you're going to take your cake balls, take them out, dip them in the chocolate, put them on the wax paper, and then you're literally done. But we'll go through that step in just a moment. Once we get this water boiling, we'll get in business. And onward and upward, of course, we have boiling water, we have melted almond bark, and we have our little cake balls. Now, I'm going to try and do this one-handed, but I can't make no promises. I place them in there, do a quick rollover on them, and that's business right there. Mind the steam is really hot. And you lay out your cake ball, just like that. And you do that with every one of these bad boys, and when you're done, you'll know that they're finished when they're no longer shiny. As you can see, there's a little shine on them. When they don't have the shine on them anymore, they're finished. And that, folks, is how you make the cake balls. Stay tuned, and I'll go ahead and eat one in a minute. All right, we're all done with our little cake balls. As you can see, all pretty and whatnot. See if I can find one that's close to done. Nope. We'll just have to improvise. Ta-da! Big work. All right, not bad. Edible, pretty good. Make sure, share it, like it, pass it on to your friends. Y'all have a Merry Christmas. Y'all be safe out there.